There we go.
All right.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to
Well,
Decoding Your Strengths with Teresa Lisum, and
Linda Karchner.
we're so glad you're here. Our intention here every week is to dig into some lucky person's strength report, which is a Gallup Strengths report, and show you who are viewing how we go through this process
Hmm.
and what we can gather from a report. And not everybody who has that assessment taken can look at it and really know what to do with it. So it's great to have a third person to give you their perspective and their knowledge based on, our knowledge of strengths, and then how to take those strengths and do something with them,
Yeah,
apply to your life in different
absolutely.
areas of your life, health concerns, relationships, business or financial areas of your life.
Mhm.
So they can all be applied in a way that's going to serve you the best and serve those around you in a better way. So it's all about the awareness and the understanding that these bring to you and into your life that you can then translate and use in multiple ways. So if you want to add anything to that, Linda, I'm going to go ahead and grab our report we're going to be working with today.
I think I'll just talk about the basics of how you get this strengths report. You can go to gallup.com and look for CliftonStrengths. And Teresa and I do have access to help you get a little bit of a discount on what it costs. There is a cost involved because, it costs money for Gallup, CliftonStrengths to run their processors and continue their research and do all of their support and things like that. So at the time of this recording, I think it's like $59.99, $60, and we can help you get a little bit of a discount on that. But the information that it gives you in this assessment, you have to take it online. There's not like a paper option because the computer has to process all of your results. And you probably need to give yourself about a half an hour of uninterrupted time. Um, and you answer questions. Um, and, sometimes the questions are sort of polar opposites from each other. And sometimes it's kind of like, well, I'm sort of this and I'm sort of that. And so you have to pick which one you are most like. So it's a really rich results that come back that tell you about how you do everything. Just like Teresa mentioned earlier, in all aspects of your life, whether it's relationships, health and well-being, your job, all of that. Um, so just a little bit about what the CliftonStrengths report, like how you access it, how you take it, and things like that.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. And
Hmm.
this is a
Hmm.
one page. They'll give you multiple
Right.
pages when you get your results. They give it to you instantaneously.
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
lots of different ways of viewing the report. They'll give you a little description of each one of these and how it might show up for you. And every person is different. So even though like Linda and I both have the same input strength, really high, but we use it differently. And
Right.
depending on what strengths are around that particular input strength, they will influence that input strength. So both of us have high input, but we use them differently based
Right.
on, our own life's experiences
Yeah.
and our other strengths.
Hmm.
But we focus on the top 10. So 1 through 10, I call that your zone of genius.
I love
That's
that.
where we want to operate as much as possible out of those top 10.
Hmm.
The middle ones, like the 11, 12, 13, some people use those strengths as tools in their tool belt. But then between, I'm just gonna say 14 to about 29-ish, 28, those are like they're neutral. We
Mm,
don't even really look at those. They're not really relevant. We can do everything we need to do from those top 10.
absolutely.
The bottom 5, those are not weaknesses, those are just strengths we would prefer not to be spending time in.
Mhm.
They're de-energizing. They make us kind of weird and inauthentic, which I had that revelation recently with a recent experience where I was just not myself. I was being judgy and kind of not very nice. And it took me a day or two to realize it was because I was operating from one of my bottom strengths.
Mhm.
And it was just not a good feeling. I did not serve the people around me in any way. So once I had that realization, I can change that when
Mhm.
a similar situation comes up in the future, once I had that awareness. So awareness is important, and being able to see your strengths played out here. It's just another way of an awareness about you, how you're showing up naturally anyway. You
Right.
do these things without even realizing it. We're just showing people that these are your superpowers. These are your zone of genius. This is where you are your best, your most productive, your most energized, your most creative is when you're operating out of those top 10.
Mhm.
So the more times you can do that, the better person you're going to be, and
Right.
the better influence you'll have on the world around you.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead and dig in
Okay.
to some of these top 10 strengths. Now, we always start by counting up the strengths and
Mhm.
putting them into a category. So
Mhm.
on the right here in this gray box, you will see 4 categories, 4 domains is what we call them. And we will we'll count up those number of strengths and put them in one of these domains. So this is an interesting report. I don't often see these types of reports. How about you, Linda?
Not too often. No.
Not too often.
Mm.
So we counted up 2 relationship building strengths. Those are blue.
Mhm.
1 strategic thinking strength. That's
Mhm.
green.
Mhm.
2 executing. I think I saw
Yep.
those colors
Right.
right.
Yep. Yep. Mhm.
And 5 influencing.
Yeah.
5. 3 or more of any domain
Mm.
is a lot. It's important to that person. When
Mhm.
you have 4, it's more important. When you have 5, it's, I want to say, almost obsessively important.
Yeah.
So this person is all about moving others forward, moving
Mhm.
them from point A to point B. And they can see all the steps in between to get people to that end point. This is like so obsessive for this person. This is an overwhelming desire to help other people
Uh-huh.
move and grow and, go up to the next level. And this person can help and wants to help in
Right.
any way possible. Any thoughts on that, Linda?
Yeah, I think that sometimes maybe getting in touch with and realizing that some of these strengths that can be perceived as being pushy, when they are harnessed properly, can be powerful and makes this person someone who um, it can play a very significant role in other people's lives.
For sure. Very, it's, and again, for both me and Linda, it's very unusual to see
Mm,
a high influencer, let
mhm.
alone one with this many
Yeah,
influencing
yeah,
strengths.
very,
Now,
very, very strong.
that being said, we are all influencers in our own way. So
Mhm.
even though I am not a dominant influencer,
Right.
that doesn't mean I don't influence people.
Hmm.
It's just not what energizes me.
Right.
Do it with a lot of intention. This person is going to be hyper energized when they're able to move somebody along a path or a
Hmm.
journey and get them, to a certain point where this person is just a way better version than they were at the beginning.
Right.
So this person, yeah, it's, they only have 2 relationship building strengths. That doesn't mean they don't connect well with people. That's not what this is saying. It's
Mhm.
just more energizing to really move those people forward.
Right.
I'll have a connection with them, but that's not what's important. The
Mm,
importance is moving that person or a group of people along a path.
yeah. And I think it's interesting that for this person, who they might want to influence and move forward is maybe a smaller group of people
Right.
than what you might think of as a quote unquote influencer, like the way that
Mhm.
we think of it, like a TikTok influencer, like they're thousands of people. But this person with relator at number 2, that means that they have a small inner circle of trusted friends,
Mhm.
and they kind of stick with that small group of people that they know and trust. And individualization as a relationship building strength, one of the ways that they can move people forward is by seeing the other person's individual strengths and how they might fit, like the round peg in the round hole and the square peg in the square hole.
Mhm.
So, their moving others forward might revolve a lot around a small group of people that they can kind of help them to fit in their niche.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, relator is really high for this person.
Mhm.
Not every not every word is a total descriptor of that strength.
Yeah,
In this case, relator is not what you think it would be.
right.
It's
With
not that
people
they
think,
relate
"Oh,
well to
that means
others.
I relate to a lot of people."
Exactly,
I did the
exactly.
exact opposite.
Yeah.
I relate
So
to a small group of people.
yes, yes. So this person is probably very comfortable with just a few, like Linda said, a few friends, an inner circle,
Yeah, like
and
the
a lot of,
lifelong childhood friends.
yes, yes. So I love that you realize that as an influencer, this person is going to be able to influence just a small trusted group, and this person might not just have the one, they might have another one that, that they're going to be able to move forward. But relator is, yeah, whoever's in that inner circle had to jump through some hoops to get
Yeah,
there. And
right.
once they're there, there's total trust, total
Mhm,
loyalty, total being their authentic selves with each other.
mhm.
So yeah, and other people might look at that and think, oh, like, how come that person doesn't have a lot of friends? Because
Right,
they don't need them. And they
right.
don't want them.
Yeah,
They could have a lot of friends. That doesn't mean they don't know a lot of people. It's
right.
just that they're most comfortable with a couple little handful of
Mhm.
those close friends in their inner circle.
Yeah, and knowing a lot of people versus trusting a lot of people is two
Right,
different
right,
things.
right. And this
Mhm.
person could possibly come across as an introvert, quiet person, possibly. I don't know. That person's not in front of me, but or maybe not. Maybe they're very
Well, I mean,
yes,
if we look at those bottom strengths, woo is at number 30.
right.
So they're not a person who goes into a group setting and, charms everybody
Right, right.
and breaks the ice and, goes around and pats everyone on the back and how you doing, kind of that superficial, just charming everyone.
Mhm.
So, that, and typically, if someone has relator high, they have woo low. Not always, but statistically, yeah, that's pretty common.
Yeah, and
So
I see includers down there too.
includers down
Yeah,
there in the
yeah.
bottom too. So they're not about, making sure that the guy in the corner isn't feeling left out. It's just, kind of hanging with their posse.
Right, right. Or the dog, or,
Or the dog, yeah.
yeah, that's their comfort level.
Right.
But I'm really looking at number 4, number 5, and number 6.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
3 strengths together, I'm guessing is a very powerful.
So powerful. Yeah.
Significance is a strength that a person of high significance wants to make an impact, wants to make a difference
Hmm.
in their world. In this case, a small sphere, a
Hmm.
small area of their world, but they want to make an impact. They want to make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They want to leave their mark, leave a legacy.
Mhm.
One, I was here.
Yeah, and it could just be within a family unit.
Right?
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be huge. I'm guessing, again, I don't know, that this person is an influencer, wants to make an impact, but kind of comes at it from maybe in the background area or in the back door, or is that support person behind the scenes. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing, throwing that out there.
Yeah.
We'd have to get confirmation on
Yeah.
that. But command, can you speak to command at number 5?
So command, which is my number 34, and it it's one of those strengths that people love you for it and they hate you for it. Like it gets under their skin. They're resentful because you can take charge
Mhm.
in a difficult situation, but they perceive it as bossy,
Yeah.
and people don't like to be told what to do. But if there's a crisis situation, people gravitate to someone with high command. They want someone to make those hard decisions and to kind of deal with the crisis. And it may be something that someone might have to grow into this a little bit. Sometimes when it's in its raw state, it can come across as being bossy and without that self-awareness of, okay, I need to get something done, but maybe this is the best way to do it, or that is the best way to do it, rather than charging in like a bull in a china shop, as they say. So, command is a very, very powerful strength. And sitting at number 5 means it's one that's crucial to this person.
Kind of like the default strength
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is very comfortable for this person. Excuse me. And then with self-assurance right there at number 6,
Hmm.
this person is coming in, will take charge when needed,
Hmm.
and is very certain of their decisions.
Yes.
Like very certain. They have an intuitive gut feeling that directs them. So they're not really looking to get outside confirmation. Correct me if you think differently than this, Linda. But it's
That's
more like, yeah, no, I know this is true. We're going to go forward.
right.
This is the direction I think this group should go, or you should go, or whatever. And yeah, like
Mhm.
I want this person with me in an emergency
Yeah.
situation.
Right.
Yeah, this person is going to take charge, know for sure what to do, and yeah, and make an
And I
impact on everybody
Yeah, and
else.
I think with activator at number 3,
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
sometimes that's like what I call the ready, fire, aim. Like,
Mm,
they
love that.
activator, they don't feel like they have to ponder. Although, look, deliberative is at 9. So that's interesting. So deliberative is like kind of thinking through the obstacles, but activator is turning your thoughts into action. So this
Mm.
person might have a little bit of conflict within themselves sometimes, but just looking at like that command situation, like they might be willing to just jump in and do the action without maybe always thinking through what might happen in the future.
Or maybe they take a little bit of time with that
Yeah.
deliberative there to think of 1 or 2 things that might be an obstacle or be standing in the way. But then with their self-assurance, like,
Yeah.
okay, I see it, but I
Yeah.
think we could do it
Yeah.
anyway, or I think we can go around, and
Mhm.
because there's restorative right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Restorative,
How about
they
that?
can figure things out on the
Right.
fly.
Fixing what's
They're
broken.
problem solvers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with their restorative, and deliberative, they could see that obstacle, know it's there, know what they can do to get around it, or maybe some different paths around it. And they know they're going to get there. They know they're going to make it to the other side with their
Yeah.
self-assurance. So yeah, this person, and I just know for myself in the past, before I knew about strengths in general, this person would probably kind of scare me a little bit. I would probably be intimidated by this person, but
Yeah.
maybe not. These are really strong, powerful strengths
Yeah.
in combination.
Right. Oh, yeah,
I can see
absolutely.
this person just being a leader,
Mhm.
again, in a quiet way, but I don't know, that person, we would have to ask questions of this person and see how
Right.
these strengths play out for them.
Mhm. Yeah, I can see how how other people would misinterpret this person's intentions sometimes. And
Yeah,
and
yeah,
maybe they, sometimes they don't even know themselves. Like sometimes you hear from so many people that you're doing things the wrong way and you start to doubt yourself. And if you want to move people forward, then maybe you kind of think, oh, well, I shouldn't be this way. But at the same time, like not using it as an excuse to just roll over people.
right,
Kind of a
right.
delicate balance. Like
Yeah, yeah,
love your strengths and who you are and how God made you. But you've said a couple times, Teresa, that our strengths are for us and for other people. And if we're not utilizing our strengths to improve our relationships and to help other people, then it's not really a strength.
hmm yeah. And thank you, Lyndon. I like when you said earlier that like if you look at your strengths report and you're like, that doesn't sound like me.
Mhm,
Yeah, I'm not really that self-assured.
mhm.
These could be seen as potentials as well.
Right.
You
Mhm,
can grow into it once you
mhm,
understand it and embrace it and
mhm.
fall in love with it. Most people start to see that strength appear in different ways in their life. So
Right.
it's something, like you said, you can grow into and
Mm,
really use and leverage to your advantage, to other people's advantage. But it's all about serving others with our strengths as well
mhm.
as ourselves. So this is, yeah, definitely an interesting report.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much for bringing it to us, Linda. If you have a report that maybe you took a while ago, you want to dust it off, take a screenshot, send it over to us, drop it in the comments. We would
We would
love
love
to
to
put it up
hear you. Yeah.
and go over it. I know when I first heard my report read to me, it was so powerful. It was just like, who is this person that they're talking about? Like it was hard for me to hear myself being spoken about
Mhm,
in an objective type of a way.
mhm,
And it was just so empowering, and I just felt really unique and valuable for the world.
mhm.
I've seen people break down and cry and get really
Oh,
emotional
yeah,
when they
absolutely.
hear their, the coach is telling them what they're seeing in this report. And
Mhm.
I would say 100% of the time, it's dead on, or
Right.
really close to 100% of the time, dead on. Like, oh yeah, because we're just bringing up awarenesses around these strengths, these superpowers that most people don't think about. They don't
Mhm,
realize that their combination is so unique to the world, that they're the only person in the world with these particular lineup of strengths. So this person, there is nobody else on the planet with this lineup of strengths.
yep,
Totally
absolutely.
unique. And every other person in the world is walking around with a total lineup of unique strengths that only they have. So when you start to see the world from that perspective, it kind of really helps. It really helps in understanding others and being gracious towards others and accepting others. Even though I did have a day where I was not being like that, but I had the
You'll have those
awareness.
moments.
Yeah, we're only human and we're just, doing the best we can. But this is just, these tools are here for us to help us be the best versions of ourselves as
Right.
often as we can be.
Right.
And that's all we can go for, as often
That's
as
right.
possible.
That's right.
Okay, my friend, I think we are out of time, or
Yeah,
just,
I think you're right. It's goes so quick.
it certainly does. We just love doing this and we love helping people. I particularly love helping women see themselves from this different perspective so
Mhm.
that they can apply them to different areas of their lives.
Right.
Linda, how do you like to serve people with
Um,
their strengths before
yeah,
we go?
I like to serve women and also Christians in pastors and churches. And I just think that if churches got in touch with how God created them to be infinitely unique, it would be such a blessing to the people around them and in their mission, their calling.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna speak for both of us. I'm guessing you feel the same way. If we all, every person on the planet knew their strengths and
Yep,
understood this whole concept, the world would be a much better place.
absolutely.
So that's why we want to get the word out to as
Yep,
many people as possible.
we sure
So
do.
thank you for listening in. We would love to help you. Our contact
Absolutely.
information will be in the description with this video. Feel free to reach out to us and allow us to shine a light on your strengths, on your superpowers.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much, Linda. Thank you,
Yeah, thank
everybody. We'll
you.
see you
Thanks,
next
everyone.
time.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.